Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. I'm Rob Stein and you are listening to my show, Bulls and a Beer, where I'll cover the Chicago Bulls my way while drinking a beer. This week we got Coors Light, so we'll make it work. So we got a full week of Bulls coverage for you. 4 games this week for the Bulls, 3 losses, 1 win. Not a bad week for the Bulls, definitely not a good one. Let's run through the games and then I have some goods and bads we can cover this week. Monday night, the Bulls hosted the Washington Wizards, who were playing without their star, Bradley Beal. Bulls had a pretty uninspired effort as we dropped this one. Derrick Rose did have 23 points in the game, but not enough to overcome the visiting Wizards. On Tuesday night on a back-to-back, the Bulls ended up losing to the Milwaukee Bucks. It was an away game for the Bulls. A game the Bulls could have won and probably should have won, but let's give the Bucks some credit here. The offseason signing of Greg Monroe, pretty strong and solid interior player. He'll give you about 15 points, 9 boards a game. The Bucks are a pretty nice team, so not a terrible loss for the Bulls. One we'll hope to get some revenge on later in the season. Thursday night, the Bulls were in Philadelphia for another away game, playing against one of the worst teams in NBA history, the Philadelphia 76ers, who currently have 4 victories. And the Bulls started off really slow in this one. At one point, they were down 23 points, again, to just an awful Philadelphia 76ers team. It looked like they were going to have another tough loss on the schedule for the Bulls until Jimmy G, you know the G stands for Gets, Buckets, put on his Superman cape and went out there and did his thing. Butler dropped 53 points in this game, and the game went to overtime. The Bulls pulled it out. Crazy win. Everyone around the league talking about it. Great game for Butler, obviously. And a nice game for Noah, too, who finished with 16 rebounds and 8 assists. So not a bad game and good win for the Bulls here. Bulls hosted the Dallas Mavericks on Friday. It was another back-to-back game. A game the Bulls could have won, but the Dallas Mavericks still have Dirk Nowitzki, one of the best players ever to play the game, especially at the power forward position. Too many fourth quarter turnovers for the Bulls, and too much Dirk Nowitzki at the end. Bulls lost this one as well. Give me a little halftime. Getting it up. All right. Beer break. So the games weren't too bad this week. I wish we had won more, but there were some good things and there were some bad things. Let's talk about the bad first. Tony Snell, Niko Mirotic, Doug McDermott. Talk about the most inconsistent trio of players in the NBA. These guys are hot one game, bad the next. Snell has shown his ability to shoot the perimeter jump shot. 3 for 4, 4 for 5 from three-point land. Same with Doug McDermott. Both these guys can get hot. We all know Nico can get hot. Almost the Rookie of the Year last year. The guy's got game. But I'm not asking for home runs from these guys, all right? I don't need 20 points, 30 points a night. Just give me 10 points every game. I don't need the home run. I just need a double. Can I get a double? The strikeouts are killing us, guys. We need something. So what was good for the Bulls this week? The play of Derrick Rose has been really inspiring lately. I know he's had some injuries, but if you look at some of the statistics he's been putting up, pulling them up here, 23 points on Monday, 18 points on Friday. This is some of the best basketball we've seen Rose play in a while. Strong takes to the basket, finishing hard at the rim. Almost saw a dunk or two this week. Very inspired by Rose's play and hoping to see that going forward. Paul Gasol recently made NBA headlines as ESPN came out with their top lists. They do it for every position. Paul Gasol was named the number 9 power forward of all time. That puts him in the ranks of Dennis Rodman, Kevin Garnett, Dirk Nowitzki, who, like I said, torched the Bulls on Friday night. Nonetheless, amazing accomplishment for Paul Gasol, number 9 all time. The guy's got 2 NBA championships. He's been an all-star about 1 billion times in a row. Glad to have him on our team. If you don't like Gasol, heck, we could have got another Ben Wallace. So I'm glad we got Gasol. And lastly, what's good, shouldn't be a big surprise here, Jimmy Butler is hot. My man's got game. I know it, you know it. Everyone in the NBA is slowly catching on. The man's got skills. I'm looking at it here, 53 points, of course, against the Sixers. But let's look at the most recent stats here. He's averaging 27.7 points per game in his last 10 games, all right? 6 assists a game and 5 rebounds a game in the last 10. This is impressive statistics for any player. Butler's really known for his defense, but the man can score the ball now. People around the league, frankly, should be scared. Talk about great defenders in the league. There's Kawhi Leonard, who I think is probably the best defender in the league. But after Kawhi, I think Jimmy's the man. Kawhi actually has maybe even more of a defensive structure on his team that allows him to be the player he is. Butler's played stellar defense against James, against Carmelo Anthony, some of the best players in the Eastern Conference. Heck, until Tuesday night's game against the Bucks, he had a 43 consecutive game streak with 1 steal or more. I mean, the guy has skills on defense, and he's putting it together on offense. Something to really watch as he becomes a budding superstar in the NBA. Definitely worth the $90 million contract he got in the offseason. Beer's done, so I'm done. What's coming up? Bulls got 4 games this week. It's highlighted by the Golden State Warriors. Hope to slow down Chef to Steph Curry, and then try to slow down LeBron James and the Cavs. That'll be an interesting game. See what we can do there. Tune in next time. We'll all have new Bulls content and hopefully a new beer. You guys, did you like it? Did you love it? Hate it? Let me know. Follow me on Twitter at RobSmoothStein and check out some of my articles.